Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the next update for my eyeshadow bank. I have absolutely been loving this project. It is so much fun. It is one that really helps me kind of change the way that I think about purchasing, and it's really been helping keeping my numbers down. This project is one that was created by Laura Force, or I am very heavily inspired by her. I love following her along, and I think some other people also have joined in, but I love following along with her because I feel like it's just such a fun project to do, or like a budget, low buy, that kind of stuff. So before I jump into like the numbers for the last month, I'm just going to briefly go through my rules. So in this project, basically you have to earn points in order to purchase eyeshadows, hence the eyeshadow bank. And there's a couple of different ways I can earn points. The main way that I earn points each month is from usage. So for 10 uses I get 1 point, so anytime I hit a 10 use threshold on an eyeshadow I get 10 points. I also get 5 points if I'm able to reach for an eyeshadow 100 times. Of course that doesn't happen very often, but whenever you do I get 5 points for that. I also get 1 point if I hit no pan left behind on a palette. Of course, again, only the one time, so I can only hit no pan left behind on a palette once a year. I also get 1 point if I hit pan on an eyeshadow. And then I get 5 points if I finish an eyeshadow. I believe those are all of the ways I can earn points. If I declutter as well, I get 5 points, but I try to not do that too often because, I mean, if I do, that's fine, but I also want to use my collection and I don't want to like use declutters in order to purchase more, so if that makes sense. So that's all the way I can earn points, and then the way I spend them is every 10 points that I earn equals 1 eyeshadow to purchase. So that is the main gist of the rules. I'm gonna jump into the video and let you know what it looks like at the moment, how many points I earned in February, and where I'm standing right now. But before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning of February and talk you through where I started the month off. So I started February with a balance of 302 points. So again, with the logic that I'm using, or like the system that I'm using, that equals 30 eyeshadows that I could purchase potentially, like 30.2 technically, but 30 eyeshadows. I do have a pretty good month though, and I have actually brought in a lot of points in the past month, so let me start going through them. So the first kind of section that I always start with is no pan left behind, and I was able to get 1 point from no pan left behind this month, and that 1 point came from the Huda Beauty Nude Light Obsessions palette. So that is the only palette I hit no pan left behind on. I'm not hitting as many no pan left behind this year as I did the previous year, just because I'm focusing a lot on my single eyeshadows this year with my year of usage per pan. So that is it for no pan left behind. However, we are gonna swiftly move on to 10 uses because I have quite a few points in this category. I was actually able to get 19 points for 10 uses, which is an incredible amount. So I'm going to talk you through all of the points that I was able to get from 10 uses. So first up we have my Colourpop single shadow in Indio, which is a pressed glitter. I used that 10 times for a total of 20, so that's 1 point. I also used my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette in the shade Blissful 10 times in the past month, so that is another point. The NYX Depotted shade in beige, like the cream kind of color that I have, I used 20 times for a total of 20 in the month of February again. I have my Cleona single shadow in Translucency. This is one that I focused in on quite a lot. I used it 10 additional times for a total of 20, so that is another 10. I have my Burberry Rosewood eyeshadow in which I use my brows, so I use that one quite regularly, and I reached for that one 30 additional times for a total of 410 uses in, again, the month of February. So that one gave me 3 points, which is really good. We have my Colourpop single shadow in Ghostin. I used that one 10 times. My Anastasia Soft Glam palette, I have the shade Dusty Rose. I used that one 10 times for a total of 50 in total tracked. I also have 2 more shadows from that palette. I have the shade Sienna, which I also used 10 times for a total of 160 total usage tracked. And lastly, for my palette, we have the rustic shade, which I also use 10 times for a total of 50. So that's it for Soft Glam. And then lastly, I have a couple single shadows. I have another clear eyeshadow, which is in the shade Statue Garden, and I reached for that one 10 times for a total of 20, so 1 more point there. And then lastly, 2 pastel roses shadows. The first one is Starlight, which I reached for another 10 threshold for a total of 30 tracked. And the very last shadow is the shade Bismuth, which I used 10 times. So adding all of that together, that is 19 points from 10 uses, which again is really, really good. Alright, so we do have one shadow as well in my 100 use threshold. I kind of teased this one a little bit. If you listen to my uses in the previous section, you might know which one this is, and that is my Burberry Rosewood eyeshadow. I reached for that one for another 100 threshold for a total of 400 uses. Well, last time it's 410, as you heard before, but I surpassed that 400 threshold, so another 5 points in that category, because every 100 use gives 5 points. Then we have pans next, and I did pretty good in pans. I actually was able to hit 5 pans in the month of February, and those are my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette in Blissful. I mentioned that one before in the 10 uses category as well. I also have my Glam Shop single shadow in Pil Cuscovy. That's another pan. We have my Huda Beauty Nude Lights Obsession palette and the third shade in that palette. So that is the third pan. I also have my Colourpop. It was originally from the Lilac View a Lot palette, but it's departed now into my singles collection in the shade Ghostin. That is another pan. And lastly, I also hit pan on my NYX like beige departed cream shade, and so that is the 5 points for pans. And then the last category we have to earn points from for this past month is finished eyeshadows, and I was actually able to get 10 points from that category, which means that I was able to finish 2 eyeshadows, and those are my Anastasia Soft Glam palette, the shade Sienna in there. That is 1 point, or well, 1 eyeshadow, 5 points. And the last one is another one that I already mentioned quite a few times in this video, because that is my Burberry Rosewood eyeshadow, which I finally finished. If you saw my project pan update, you know that, but I was able to finish that one too, so a total of 10 points for finished shadows. So as you can see from my numbers, but also from all of the things that I mentioned, I did have a very, very good month in February. So I was actually able to earn 40 points altogether, which equals 4 shadows to purchase, which is amazing. So yeah, adding all of that up, that was 40 additional points. And I actually didn't purchase anything in the month of February. Really happy with that. I haven't purchased anything up until this point. So January and February are both like no buy months, which is really, really good. At least 5 shadows. Other things I might have purchased. But yeah, so that is another 40 points, and since I started at 302 points in the beginning of February, my balance moving into March is 342 points. And yeah, that is actually my main update for my eyeshadow bank. Again, I'm really, really happy with the numbers. I'm so happy with how this is working for me. I feel like this has definitely changed my mindset when it comes to purchasing eyeshadows. I don't feel the need to purchase eyeshadows because I feel like tracking them just makes me realize how long it takes to actually get a higher usage goal on my eyeshadows, and like kind of like how many of them I don't really touch at all in order to actually get 10, 20 plus uses on eyeshadows. So it definitely has changed my mindset, and I don't feel the need to buy things as much. I definitely have a couple of things on my wish list still, and I might be purchasing a couple of things in March. We'll see. I think that might be the month, is because I haven't purchased anything eyeshadow wise in forever. But yeah, I just feel like I have these things on my wish list, but I'm just like, if I purchase them now, they just realistically just gonna sit in my collection. So I'd rather focus on some usage goal and finishing some things first, and then once I can maybe complete some of my shadows in my Pana palette, or I have completed a few more shadows, like the 25 uses in my year of usage project pan, at that point when I'm getting a head start or making headways on those projects, maybe then I can reward myself and purchase some more things. But again, it might change in March. I might bring some things in, but overall that's kind of how I'm thinking right now, which means that this project really is working for me. So that is actually going to be it for this update today. It's gonna be quite a short and sweet one, and I feel like I covered all of the information since I don't have anything to share with you that I purchased. That is basically it for this update, but make sure to check out Laura, link down below. I again is very heavily inspired by her. I love watching her, like I said, not just the Eyeshadow Bank but just in general, so make sure to check her out if you haven't already. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.